Hey everyone, this is Cameron with SpeedCubeShop.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new ZhanChi Pro M. So before I get this video started, I want to address the elephant in the room. For one, I am wearing my glasses, which are super thick, so I usually don't typically wear them. And two, I crushed my thumb in my car door, so it may or may not be broken, so I can pretty much not turn a cube or really do much at all. It's very swollen and it hurts a lot. So I'm gonna give you a 3-second warning before I show it. So 3, 2, 1. So here's what we're working with. I'm sure people have had it worse. I pretty much just slammed my thumb into a metal car door and it hurts really badly and it's very swollen compared to my normal thumb. So yeah, this is going to be a fun one to navigate, and I'm hoping that it will recover soon. So leave an F in the chat for my thumb recovery. So moving on to the cubes, you might notice that I have 3 of them lined up for you here today. We have the DaYan version 2, the ZhanChi Pro M, and the Guhong version 4. So the reason I pulled these is because they are the newest, I think most notable DaYan releases. So the ZhanChi Pro M comes in at 77 grams and is 56 millimeters, so it's going to be the same size as the Guhong version 4 and half a millimeter larger than the DaYan version 2. So in terms of weight, it is about 10 grams, give or take, heavier than the Guhong version 4 and about the same weight as the DaYan version 2. So they are all pretty comparable. The size thing is really a preference. In my opinion, the half of a millimeter size change isn't really that big of a deal. I mean, you can definitely feel it when you're speed solving, but I don't think it would be a deal breaker for anybody. So looking at the packaging, I have the ZhanChi box here, which is very awkward to navigate one-handed, and then the DaYan box here. Have to admit that even though the DaYan box only shows a black plastic cube on the box, I do prefer it more. I think that having the picture of the cube always looks best versus this inner mechanism thing. So not really a big deal. Let's take a look at the accessories. So on the ZhanChi, we have this thicker accessory box that actually says Pro M on it, which is a lot nicer. Oh, and actually, I'm gonna pretend that DaYan listened to my feedback and stepped up their game on the box quality, because now we're kind of more like in GAN level quality, where it's like this nice paper feeling versus the, just cheap, shiny cardboard, which I really hate the feel of this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories to, I feel like I'm giving everybody a thumbs up. Let's see what's different. So I do know that one thing with the ZhanChi Pro M is going to be that the internal mechanism for like the adjustments is red instead of blue, which from my understanding is going to be the same mechanism as what we saw in the DaYan. So I'm really curious to compare the two. So we have a blue screwdriver, which is going to be used for the universal adjustment, which is going to be pretty much just the screw. Then we have our adjustment piece, which I have to admit the red is a very nice touch. Then we have a nice gray with blue logo DaYan bag. Props to DaYan on this bag. I think it is actually one of my favorite bag designs. The gray and the blue really does do it for me, so good job on that. Looking at the pamphlet, these are always a trip because, oh, okay, so we are going full CFOP here, it looks like. So yeah, it looks like we have a bunch of algorithms on here. So may or may not be nice to have. So I actually have a DaYan guide to compare to. And all this mess is giving me anxiety. All right, let's just compare. So it is a different guide. I mean, I thought it was just going to be pretty much the color change, but looking at it, yeah, I think that, the terminology has changed a little bit. They now call it just screw adjustment, distance adjustment, and tension adjustment, which I personally agree with more. It's a lot easier to comprehend versus unlimited axis distances adjustment. centerpiece travel control, and tension control. So pretty much you have the screw adjustment, which I would personally recommend you do not mess with unless you really feel the need for that extra customization. You have the center distance or distance adjustment, which is the amount of play or tightness, so to speak, between the core and the centerpiece. And you have the tension adjustment, which is going to be like essentially the spring snappiness. So the higher the number, the more snappy the spring is. And then on the distance adjustment, the higher the number, the more corner cutting and smoothness you're going to have. So enough with this. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at the cube. And let's see how this is going to go. I'm probably going to have Carlos or Justin or somebody show you guys a few clips of turning it maybe, or I'll have to use them in future videos. So we'll see how much of a train wreck this is. So cracking it open. If you're wondering, I'm not exaggerating, guys. It just really hurts. So I'm trying to not like move it too much. So I forgot to mention that I chose a damaged DaYan for a damaged man. So I thought that'd be kind of appropriate. So it's the only one I had closest to me. So sorry, but I wanted to pull that up before it broke. So looking at it, the exterior finish is going to be about the same. The white, though, is a different color plastic. It looks a little bit more of like a cream, which I don't know if the video is picking up on that. But I do like it, whereas the Guhong version 4 and the DaYan version 2 are more of a porcelain. We also do have a golden DaYan logo, whereas the Guhong version 4 is silver and the DaYan V2 is black. I think that the gold is probably the nicest out of them all. It has it's not like a harsh contrast like what the black is, but it's also a lot easier to see than the silver. And considering that the ZhanChi was my favorite speed cube for a long time and I had the CamCube or ZhanChi, the gold is a little bit more premium. So maybe you'll have to bring back the CamCube or ZhanChi, which is I think the original custom cube setup, with the ZhanChi Pro M. So we'll see how this feels. My pathetic one-handed turning, it doesn't really feel like what I expected. So out of the box, my impressions are that you sort of have more of the turning speed of the Guhong version 4 with the smoothness of the DaYan V2. Again, this is a little hard to compare one-handed. I really tried to like the Guhong version 4. I actually went as far as to try to like make it my main for a few weeks, and in the end, I just couldn't really handle, like, I didn't like it being so lightweight. My one-handed practice it's been a while, so it's pretty bad. But it's a little too lightweight for me, which caused a little bit of locking up. So I think that the weight increase on the ZhanChi Pro M is really nice. I mean, it feels nice. It just doesn't really feel that different from the DaYan version 2, aside from it does have this more like hollow, slightly scratchy feeling. So it literally is sort of like taking the DaYan version 2 and the Guhong V4 and just combining the two. So you're pretty much just meshing them together, which, I mean, I think that if it's going to be your first DaYan cube, this would probably be my choice, just because the DaYan V2 was a little bit too uncontrollable for me, whereas the Guhong version 4 had kind of my unfavorable things like I just mentioned. So this one is a really happy medium so far. But if you're looking to upgrade from your DaYan version 2 or your Guhong version 4, it might not be worth it unless you're looking for a reason to get another cube, like it's broken or whatever the reason might be. But let's go ahead and pop the cap just to compare. I haven't actually looked at a adjustment system in a while from DaYan, so it does look a bit different. So now we have just 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's going to be for the tension adjustment, I believe. Nope, that's me for the distance adjustment, whereas the tension adjustment is just 4 clicks. So I do kind of like that they dropped like the whole 0.8, 1.2, 1, and 0.6. It was a little bit hard to remember. This is a lot more straightforward. The magnet adjustment is going to be the same. We have 1, 2, and 3. I presume it's still the same strengths in terms of 1 being the strongest, 3 being the weakest. Went to the Chinese side, classic. Yep, so 1 is the strongest, 2 is medium, 3 is weak. Opposite of how I would do it, but doesn't really matter. And yeah, it looks like that the screwdriver, you also use this to adjust the magnet strength, which I had forgotten about with the DaYan version 2, because I never really felt the need to mess with it. So I mean, out of the box, we are set on to setting 2, it looks like. So it's gonna be the moderate strength, which I agree with is probably gonna be the best for most people. And yeah, so I mean, I don't really have too much to say about this between it being very similar than what we've already seen before and my thumb hurting. But I mean, out of the box, oh, that did not feel good. The center cap design did change from the DaYan version 2. Let me refresh my memory on what the Guhong version 4 looked like. Gonna leave that for later. Yeah, so we do have a new center cap design. We have these like little prongs, which I don't know if makes too big of a difference, but it is nice to note because nothing's more annoying than center caps that fall off. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna kind of cut this video a bit short. I think that despite me not really being able to do much with this, I think I kind of have the gist of it. Again, it's not really a major change, so a little bit disappointing in that regard. I was kind of expecting this to be a lot more different than what it is, but I mean, the cube is really solid, which I guess what matters at the end of the day. So again, I do think that this cube will be interesting to mess around with the setup and see kind of what I can figure out. Again, I might bring back the CamCube or ZhanChi with this, and it is my favorite out of the 3, just because again, out of the box, I do like how it's set up, and it just feels a lot more confidence inspiring than either the DaYan V2 or the Guhong version 4. If you're interested in purchasing this, it is available in stickerless plastic, black plastic, and an all new green plastic, which I'm really excited to see in person. So if you want to take a look at that, head over to the link in the description box down below and pick one up for yourself. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though I wasn't really able to do too much. I'm hoping to have a speedy recovery, but if not, I will get some other help with these videos. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all in the next video, hopefully.